Hello and welcome back to my page. You are very welcome here. I hope you're keeping well. I know I am keeping pretty good. Up the rebels. This video is sponsored by Cronin's Cider. It is delicious, guys. Genuinely, this summer when you're ordering a cider, ask for a Cronin's. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, back to the video. This week I headed to Limerick and I brought the family and my beautiful wife, Noelle. First round of the championship, quarter final of the Munster Senior Football Championship, Limerick versus the People's Republic of Cork. And it was beautiful, yet very gusty. There's my crew, that is the Gaelic grounds, and we were in the Mackey stand. Mick Mackey was a famous Limerick sportsman, hurler back in the day. We went through the rattling gates, all four of us, and we tip-tapped up those steps and into the beautiful Gaelic grounds. The boys had their sandwiches and so did me and my wife, and a coffee. Now it was windy, but beautiful nonetheless. Now, I have to say this, the people that I met in Limerick were so sound and so welcoming. Met lots of people. A lot of people came up saying, "Oh, I watched the videos. Great work, keep it going." I just want to say thanks. Very, very, very appreciated. That's the menus there. Pause them if you want to watch and read. That's the ref. He's from Tip, and he's umpires. I haven't a clue where they're from. But it was windy. Do you know what now? Limerick in the warm-up, I was watching their warm-up and I was like, f***ing hell. Pretty ferocious. Roaring and bawling, and I got sad when I looked at the terrace and the far off stand. I was thinking to myself, Jesus, the hurlers have it good. Those boys there were playing at half time. Good old lads. Lovely tribute to Miko just before the game, and the flags were at half mast, and there was a good old atmosphere here, I have to say now. Good atmosphere, slightly over 2,000 at the match. And the game got underway. And quickly, lads, it became evident to me that Cork are actually in a match here. They were in a battle. Limerick are a Division 4 side and Cork were a Division 2 side. Limerick had a great league and Cork had a also mediocre league, although they were on the back of 2 wins, so, maybe coming good at the right time, who knows. But this game was ebbing and flowing for the first 25-30 minutes, and you'd be hard pressed to pick who the Division 2 side was, because Limerick were excellent and they took their scores and they created chances and they fought, and this guy in particular was excellent, genuinely impish, and I don't know how they didn't get a penalty there, but thankfully they didn't. And look, I'm not saying Cork were terrible. Cork weren't terrible. We took our chances as well. But, Limerick were there to win. They weren't there to make up the numbers. And I was slightly worried. I was like, I just don't think I could have taken a defeat. I just don't think I could have taken a defeat. And with every bloody score, it looked like this could go to the wire. Anyway, they were winning breaking balls, they were breaking the line, they were athletic, they're young as well. This is a young Limerick side, They're really testing Cork. And we don't want to test. Well, we do want to test, but we don't want to bloody test. Not against Limerick. No disrespect, even though that probably implies disrespect, but there is none. This is a goal chance, and we put it wide. It was a good few wides, I have to say. This guy for Cork, number 13, was unreal. Look at that for a through ball, and then we fist this over. We start to get grips a small bit here now at this stage. We're about 15-20 minutes in, and we are penetrative, but there's a lot of hand passing. I'm not a fan of the hand passing, but look, I suppose if it works, it works. As long as it's going forward, nothing between the teams. And Limerick were not giving up hope. If anything, they were putting the foot down. And every single breaking ball they won was encouraging the crowd to raise their voices even louder. Cork had the backroom staff up at the top of the Mackie stand making notes. Lovely score here by Cork. We scored 5-2. Look, this here is the Cronin's cider. Choose to be extraordinary moment of the match. Long kick out, one bounced, soloed in, lovely little land pass, and beautiful long distance point inside the arc for a 1-pointer. But look, what an exceptional score. But this is the moment that defined the whole game. This guy who'd just been booked earlier gets a second yellow, and suddenly Limerick are down to 14 players. And Cork, like any good boxer, smell blood and take full advantage. Limerick, look at this for a pass here. Limerick have ballers. Ball in, one-on-one, and the Taoiseach son makes a great save. My young fella thought that was a great save. I thought that was a great save. I think everybody can acknowledge that it was a great save. And look, Cork can only play with who's in front of them and can only do what they can against the team that's set up against them. But there is no denying that when you're down to 14 men in Gaelic football, it is usually insurmountable. And because of that, Cork just applied pressure, scored a lot of long distance points. We got 5 2-pointers in this match, all scored in the first half, aided by an exceptionally strong gust that did not die down for the whole game. And when we moved forward at pace, we look interesting. We do look interesting. But again, the lack of kick passing for me is our biggest downfall. And again, we just kept ploughing on. We kept going. We kept taking chances. We kept trying. And that's all you can do. Limerick, to their eternal credit, did the exact same. Half-time came along and these lads were acting the scallywag. Look, I have a lot of shows coming up. I'm in Ennis. I'm in Limerick as well. We met Rob Heffernan, the Olympian. On Rob. Yeah, come to my shows. Tickets on my website, corneliuspatrickosullivan.com. The second half, lads, honestly, the game was over at half-time. We were up 9 points at half-time, and I think we ended up winning by 11 for a finish. And the wind never died down, and, it was pedestrian at times, the second half. But Limerick, to be honest, they really impressed me. They really never gave up. And look, I suppose you're going to say, who's going to give up anyway? But I've seen teams drop the head. This Limerick team, I would just say watch out for them. Watch out for them for the rest of the season. I'm going to watch out for them anyway. I was enamoured by them. And I wish them well. Wasn't their day. Was not their day. The match ended, the kids ran onto the pitch. That's the final score. What a beautiful stadium the Gaelic Grounds is. Yeah, thanks to Cronin's for sponsoring this video. I went onto the pitch and played some football. Here's my young fella scoring a goal. And the rebels. There's the Taoiseach. How are you doing, sir? There's me wife. Come to me shows. Love you. Bye.